Hi everyone, and welcome to a quick walkthrough of what's on my computer. Well, the computer I'm running at the moment is a 15-inch 2013 MacBook Pro with Retina display, and I absolutely love this computer. It does everything I need. It has, of course, the SSD, which gives you lightning quick access to all of your files and documents, which is one of the other reasons that I really love it. So let's jump in and have a quick look at the applications that I run. So I'll just bring you down firstly to the dock at the bottom, and I'll start from the left. Spotify is fantastic. I used to be an avid audio user, but I was getting some issues with it playing remotely on my phone in the car, which is probably where I use the kind of music streaming services more than any other place. So I decided to try Spotify. It streams seamlessly, so I use Spotify. It's as simple as that. I use it on all platforms. It's really good. Skype, for obvious reasons. I use this for business as well as pleasure, and it's a great internal chat product for people within the business to catch each other immediately, better than some of the Microsoft kind of Office products that are available, like Link, I think it's called. So we tend to prefer this one. Safari and Chrome, I do use all web browsers for various reasons. I tend to use Safari a little bit more. I've just moved over to Safari from Chrome as my main web browser, but I found that one of the main issues with Safari is if you change the zoom settings for a website, you leave the website and come back, it pops it back to its original setting, whereas Chrome, it will save those settings for you. So I just prefer Chrome for that one alone reason, but everything else, I think Safari is a little bit better, but I always chop and change. At the moment, it's Safari. I use iMessage on the computer. I'm on my computer all day, and it's easier to respond to SMSs, iMessages and so forth just by typing them here on my computer rather than having to pick up my phone. I find it's a lot quicker and I can get back to people a lot faster. Tweetbot is my Twitter client of choice. I've tried there's probably about 7 or 8 in the App Store that I've tried, and I find Tweetbot is the best. It's probably the most expensive, but it's really good, great functionality. And it just tends to be the Twitter client of choice for anybody who's serious about Twitter for obvious reasons. Reminders I use. I've just started to try and use these because it has some additional functionality when compared with other kind of task and to do and reminder applications, such as the location based reminders. I find really helpful. You know, remind me to check that email or call John when I get to the office. As soon as I rock up at my office, there's the reminder. But other than that, I tend to use Wunderlist for all other to-do lists. It's really great. It's on every platform, Windows, Mac. It's on my iPhone, iPad. I use it with other people within the business. I can't recommend it highly enough. Go to Wunderlist and download it and give it a try. It's really great. In terms of kind of creation and graphic design and photography, obviously it's all Adobe stuff. So I did subscribe to Adobe Photoshop CC, which the specific package I applied with gave you the Photoshop CC and Lightroom for a flat $10 per month, which I found to be really useful. So I'm getting those. I think that offer's actually expired, but I just use those two of the Adobe kind of creative suite. So they're the ones I've gone for. Other kind of notable mentions which I have used for a number of years is Pixelmator, a great product, but I tend to find now I'm using Photoshop a little bit more because I've needed some extra functionality that Pixelmator didn't previously provide. With the latest version of Pixelmator, they probably are giving me everything that I would have wanted originally, but now I'm using Photoshop. That's just what I stay with. Lightroom, industry standard. I did try Aperture for a while, but I just find that the integration between Photoshop and Lightroom is a little bit better, so I tend to go with those. Maps, Apple Maps is great. I won't have a bad word said about it. I have used Google Maps in the past, obviously, before Apple had their offering, but I love Apple Maps. I'll sit in the office, find out where I need to go for an appointment, and I'll just send it to my iPhone, which I use as my turn-by-turn GPS system. It's really fantastic. I've noticed Wunderlist and also Calendar here kind of work well together in terms of kind of dates and applications that talk to each other. I find that Calendar is better than Outlook Calendar for me on a Mac, but I'm still forced to use Outlook instead of the Apple Mail because there's some functionality within the businesses that I work for that I'm required to have Outlook integration and Exchange integration for various mailboxes and so forth, so I just have to use Outlook. Same with Word and Excel. I just find it easier to use those because I've used them all my life, and I'm really looking forward to Microsoft's April release of the 2014 Office Suite. That's going to be really good. I think there's missing some, I wouldn't say features, but certainly the Office Suite on Windows is a lot easier to use. It's a lot less buggy, so I'll be looking forward to seeing that. remote desktop. I use this a lot for work, for dialing into servers and so forth. Really handy, and this is the latest version. They've recently redone this one, Microsoft, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, as of maybe December 2013 or January 2014. A fantastic streamlined application. Then I have Parallels, which I use a lot of applications. Again, I use for work are Windows based only and Microsoft SQL Server based, so I have to run a Windows environment, and I do that via Parallels. That's all I do in Parallels, is run this one application. That's it. Nothing else is done in Parallels. Everything is done in Mac. Obviously the calculator I use on a daily basis, and I'll just open up my applications folder here, and I'll scroll through slowly, and you can have a bit of a look and see for yourself and pause where you want to have a look. But some honourable mentions. I find that the Australian weather is really good, and a lot of these applications are popped up in my bar at the top here, and that's where I'm going to cover next. There is a function that I use here within an application called Bartender. Now you probably noticed this top bar is a little bit smaller than most Mac computers, and this Bartender application allows you to consolidate what you have showing at the top here, and everything else you can pop into this little small 3 dots here, so it puts it within a sub menu. So basically what I've done is at the top right, all the things that I need to see at a glance, which I really need. So date, time, the weather, my kind of iTunes link in or Spotify link in to change tracks and check what track is playing at the moment. Battery, and my Backblaze, which is an offline kind of backup system. Other than that, I don't need to see anything else, so I can throw them in here, but I can access them quickly, which is really useful for me. So Tweetbot, I have a fantastic application called Boom, which is a graphic equalizer and volume boosting application for Mac. Is really useful. Here we have just some system information, which I find useful for at a glance information. Here we have a fantastic product called Knock, and it's basically an application you install on your Mac, but when you want to unlock your Mac, when you first open it at the beginning of your day or after you've locked it for a period, what you can do is install the iPhone version of the application, and you simply knock on your phone twice and it will unlock your computer. It's really handy. There's one bit of a bugbear I have with Macs is you close the lid, you reopen it, you have to log back in. There's a lot of Windows computers you don't have to do that. I understand security issues and so forth, but I find this really useful. I'm always opening and closing my lid, and it's handier for me if I can simply knock twice on my phone. It's really great. Obviously I've got Google Drive, Dropbox, and this is another fantastic application, Fantastical, which I use on my iPhone and also on my computer. So between the two, they integrate really well. What else have I got in here? Pretty much just the standard applications that anybody else would have on their Mac. I do have a world clock application here just at a glance for other places of people around the world that I have to deal with on a regular basis, and this is a little slider here, so if I slide this forward it'll move the clocks in real time and back, so I can see exactly where we are. Really good application, I'd recommend that. So quickly just back to my applications folder before I leave you, and I'll do a quick scroll through. And again, some honourable mentions. Backblaze, which is this application here. It's basically like a time machine, but it's offline. So it backs up all of your files and folders offline into the cloud, and you can access everything. And it's for a flat fee. I can't remember what it is, but visit Backblaze or Google Backblaze, and it will tell you. I really recommend that. And basically, you can back up a new Mac or a new computer from the backup that you made with Backblaze in the cloud. It's really good, really handy. Clean My Mac, for obvious reasons. If you own a Mac and don't have Clean My Mac, get it, you should have it. Euclid, I can't remember how you pronounce it. This is really good for measuring pixels, and I've allocated a shortcut to that. So for a lot of web design, I can basically hit a shortcut key on my keyboard and it will bring up a crosshairs, and I can drag over and measure pixels on whatever screen I'm on. It's really, really helpful. Final Cut Pro, Firefox, fonts for keeping libraries of fonts and making notes against them. Garmin Web Updater for my GPS tracking fitness watch. It's particularly useful. Logic for my music recording and home studio. Plex for my media center. Pocket for my offline reading and offline article management. And there are fantastic plugins for all sorts of web browsers. So if you're reading a web page and you want to read it later, you can simply click a button, place it in your pocket, and add tags to it. and find it at a later date on your iPhone or your iPad, or again later within this Pocket application back on your Mac. Skip Tunes is the name of the song application I have running at the top right. Snapseed for kind of very basic visual manipulation of photographs. It was really good. Google bought them out I think a couple of years ago, back in maybe 2011 or 2012, but still a fantastic application. Highly recommend that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Leave your comments below and remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching.